जूली के साथ इस हफ्ते की शुरुआत हुई है। ऑलराइट, लेकिन वहां पर मिस्टर मिस्त्री ऑलरेडी संबोधित करते हुए सीधे उन्हीं के पास चलते हैं।
Gentlemen, let me welcome each one of you to this press conference. With me on the dais are Mr. Atanu Chakrabarti, who is the chairman of HDFC Bank, Mr. Shashi Jagdishan, the CEO of HDFC Bank, and my colleague K.K. Mistry, Vice Chairman and CEO of HDFC Limited. I was a little disappointed at the press intelligence that no members of the press could decipher this, because it's always you are one day ahead. Tomorrow's news you are supposed to give today. And I was disappointed that you failed this time. But we tried our best. The work was going on for the last 3 weeks, and we tried our best to keep the number of people involved limited and strict no talking. Anyway, the board of directors of HDFC Limited and the board of directors of HDFC Bank, at their respective meetings held today, have approved an all-stock amalgamation of HDFC with HDFC Bank. The amalgamation is subject to the approval of shareholders of HDFC and HDFC Bank respectively. RBI, stock exchanges, SEBI, and such other regulatory approvals as may be required for approving this merger. Only upon obtaining all approvals when the merger will become effective. HDFC will merge with HDFC Bank. Shareholders of HDFC will receive shares of HDFC Bank in exchange of the share in HDFC at the approved share exchange ratio. Bansi Mehta and Company and Deloitte Touche, appointed by HDFC and Bank respectively, have recommended a share exchange ratio which has been accepted by the respective boards. Bank of America, Merrill Lynch Securities and Morgan Stanley provided the fairness opinion on the share exchange ratio both to HDFC and HDFC Bank respectively. Accordingly, shareholders of HDFC Limited will receive 42 shares of the bank for 25 shares held in HDFC Limited. The shares held by HDFC Limited in the bank will be cancelled. Post-closing, HDFC Bank will be 100% owned by public shareholders, and existing shareholders of HDFC Limited will own about 40% of the bank. So there won't be any promoter left in the HDFC Bank. It will be all in the market. As today, HDFC has no promoters and the entire shareholding is listed in the market and can be traded. Similarly, HDFC Bank now, earlier we had 21% of the shares, now it will all be in the market. Both of us have been evaluating the pros and cons of a possible merger for mutual benefit of both institutions. The merger is coming together of equals. Customers of both HDFC and the bank will be the biggest beneficiaries. However, over the last few years, there have been certain regulatory changes for banks and NBFCs, which have considerably reduced the barriers for a potential merger. The last 3 years has seen a host of guidelines issued by RBI on harmonizing the regulation between banks and NBFCs. These have included guidelines such as large NBFCs should be converted into commercial banks, particularly those over 50,000 crore